Thanks for selecting adilas. This tutorial is going to cover the recipes homepage. And if you see on the main switchboard homepage here, I have recipe build selected. And to find a recipe, you can type in a number of one of the recipes or a part of the name, and it'll pull up this recipe. So this recipe here is a stereo install. And then you'll see down below here we have complete stereo. And this ingredient here is shown. The rest of these are hidden. The shown element carries the price over here. So you've got the total price, and then the costs on the other items are hidden from view, and then the price is 0, so that way this will sell for $59.97. Now what it's going to do is it's going to pull these other items from inventory, and it's going to use this item here that's been set up, which is just like a service item. It's not a quantitative item. If I went back to the main switchboard homepage, I could additionally find the recipes homepage underneath System Assets and Recipe Homepage. And when I go to the recipe homepage, this is going to show me all the recipes that we have. So currently there's 2 recipes. And in order to use one of these recipes, you would just click on the build hold, or if you're in the shopping cart, it will pull in automatically for you, and then you can do the build, and that takes it into the shopping cart. That I actually cover in another tutorial on how to add recipes to a shopping cart. But if I go back to the recipe build homepage, I do want to show you that you can, when you create a new recipe, you click on new recipe, you would name your recipe here, and then you would select your type, which currently right now we just have what's called a build and sell. Possibly by the time I get this video uploaded and you viewed it, you may also have a type that's called a build and hold. Sorry, this is build and sell. We also are going to have build and hold. The difference is on build and sell, it's an automatic it automatically goes into the shopping cart. In other words, it doesn't exist in inventory. All the components exist in inventory, and then when you create the recipe, it just flows all them components onto the invoice for one price. The build and hold actually is going to operate off of a PO function, so it's actually going to be a production order, and it's going to actually build those items for you. And once they build, then they will be in inventory. So as I mentioned before, if we were to go back to this recipe that I was showing, this stereo install, and we look at the printable on it, this top ingredient here on the build and sell doesn't have a quantity. On the build and hold, this quantity would increase. So the items would decrease and this top quantity would increase. Additionally, if I go back to the build and hold homepage, there is also, or the recipe homepage, there's also the help file at the top here, which gives you a little bit of information there. Also, additionally, when you say create new recipe and you go to the help file here, we've got some more information here for you to look through. And additionally, if we go and we choose one of the recipes, I'll choose this recipe number 1 again. You can switch at the top to the build prep, which when you do the build prep, you have a yield multiplier. So if I want to go ahead and add this to a cart and I want to do 1, I would just submit. And once I submit, if I change this, it would change this. So actually let me change it to 2 just to show you what it does. So now it's went down and it's multiplied my items down here by 2. So where this was 1, it's now 2. Where this was 2, it's now 4, and so on. And then of course if I do the build, that's going to put it into the shopping cart. Once again, if I go back to the recipe build homepage, you can see the items that we have within it, and you can see those items from the quick search, and you can also see those items from the quick search. If you select here, you can also see them from the assets under your recipe build homepage. So once again, this was a little tutorial on the recipes, and look for the recipe on how to add it into the shopping cart as well. And thanks for selecting adilas.